gonna do it until the day end. And then, Gar, Gar, nice life spread ito. Ihaw.
Hola Luz. Hello Danny, welcome back. Hello, guys. It's coffee time.
Hello, Danny. Long time no see, man.
Hello, Danny.
How you been?
Open niya, ano pa na? Open ba?
Hello, for viewers. How are you guys doing this morning? Hey, brother. What is this little
You like
bread?
it?
Yeah, that's good.
This is my favorite breakfast.
How about bread like this in Mexico? Or what we call it? It tastes the same kind of like this. But it's only cake, I mean only bread. This one's got this flavor on top of it. Oh, cool.
Hi, Danny.
How are you, man? You got lost, everyone. Oh, how is everyone? We're good, Danny. Just a little bit of rain this morning, but it already passed. It's sunny, getting sunny right now. Um, we missed. We missed you too, Danny. I thought you got.
I thought you were here last night because we are calling you, but you're not.
Uh huh. This is where you, brother. I am fine and good. Thank you, man, for coming back. Yeah, we were talking about you last night. I said, "Oh, Danny's not showing up. Maybe he got scared from the live of the other day." Uh, you have a very beautiful image. Yeah, man, that's the thing that we love about this place. You know, nature everywhere. There's, you can get lost in the, you know, it's so beautiful when you go outside. Um, a little bit risky because you know you never know what you're gonna encounter, but it's not so bad. Like you know, I heard like in the in Brazil, like they have something similar, but over there they have all kinds of things.
It's
Here,
your
you know,
time to visit Philippines, Danny.
yeah, Danny, you need to come on over. Coffee?
Oh, the bottle outside, it was coconut wine. It's no, baby. I want to check the baby.
Huh?
Awesome.
Oh, that's
Uh-oh.
language.
But they can understand you if you will speak English.
Yeah, Danny, you can do it with English. They will understand mainly in the big cities. There's a lot of Filipinos who understand and speak good English, so you will not have a problem coming over here to visit. All from church?
Mhm.
Correct.
My sister, but she kept taking a photo, and then the father was keep looking at her.
Yeah, I noticed the
Do you know
priest or
the priest has a son?
also.
And he said that his son was telling him that,
What was the?
Dad, you can be like, why not you will do like that, like spread the words of God in the city like that, in the side of, in the streets ba?
Well, you know the
Mm.
in
Mas
the
bibong guys? Na bibong? Oh.
in the
Daniel saying, I agree with you. Yes, Danny, you should visit Philippines. We're gonna pick you up in the airport. Or we're gonna be your tour guide. Sana all.
um, well, I don't want to talk about it on camera though, because you know one of my rules is not talking about religion
Mhm.
or politics. Um, yeah, I'll tell you later. Africa, they cut down trees and exploring Libya, Saudi Arabia, and Bangladesh. Well, Danny, did you know that the same thing is happening in Brazil right now? I don't know if you remember, there was a treaty during the Obama era. There were big uh, uh, worldwide agreement to stop the deforestation of big parts from Africa to South America, especially Brazil. Uh, and they have done very little. Like, you know, the money is the problems that they keep buying and they don't plant new trees. I mean, it would be good if, because you know, nature is like that. It's the that's the order. Like, you know, trees they grow, they fall, and yeah, you can use those. And even here, let me tell you about the Philippines. A lot of people here in the province, they live from nature. They cut down whatever they need, but the same environment it grows. Like, you know, I've seen it. Places where people cut down the trees, they will grow back or they plant them. So here it's a circle, full circle. Uh, but over there, when they use it for businesses, like, you know, big businesses, they will cut down more trees than they can plant, and that's where the thing goes crazy. And it is happening all over Africa and South America, even in Mexico. But in Mexico, the government started a program for those companies to have uh, replenished, because there's an area in Mexico, not as big as Brazil, but yeah, they can call it forest and jungle, and but it's not compared to Brazil and some parts of I guess northern Africa where they do that. So yeah, the that's the issue. Like, you know, the once they um, get rid of the trees, it's more difficult to make them grow again. It takes years. But
We have
here,
bananas, right? Yeah, there's so many bananas here.
yeah, Danny, like bananas, I see them everywhere. Like everybody here has a tree of bananas, and they
Maluto ng kwan?
and actually,
But I need to go back and make a gravy.
oh, okay. Well, you guys cooking?
I'm gonna make a mashed potato with gravy.
Did we buy mashed potatoes? Did we buy?
We buy potato.
Check the recipe online for the mashed potatoes.
I like the one that...
See that? Philippines is a banana producing country. Yeah, man, it is one of the main products of export and also consumption. Um, the Filipinos, they eat, uh, they got bananas in different recipes, different ways. They deep fry it, they boil it, and they got like I've seen many different kinds of bananas. The little green ones, bigger ones, large ones. I'm not such a big fan of. Well, I do eat them from time to time, but like bananas, I don't. Because I'm not so much into sweets, so they do have a big variety of bananas here. Maximiliano, hola Maximiliano, ¿cómo estás? Desde Chile, ¿verdad? Sí, claro que me acuerdo de ti. ¿Qué hora son por allá? Ya son las, a ver, déjame te digo, porque son nomás 12 horas de diferencia. Ahorita son allá, no alcanzo a ver mi reloj. Son las 8:47 de la noche, por allá que no. So yeah, Danny, that's one of the main drives of the economy here in the Philippines. And then just locally, like I told you, it's actually pretty cheap when you go to the market. You find bananas at different prices. Uh, but it's because you can also see them, like here in the province. Sometimes you can see them growing in the wild. So it's a product that can easily be found here. Uh, claro que sí, Maximiliano, me acuerdo de ti. Eres de allá de Chile, que no? Nature does not like Africa. Come on, Danny, don't start saying things about Africa. You know, it's a different kind of nature environment. And right now, with most of the scientists, they do agree that there's climate change. You know, in the whole world, everybody notices that it's changing. You can notice in your wherever you are, you're gonna see some changes, and you notice it. For example, I used to live in Arizona in the U.S. I lived there for almost 30 years, and I can tell you from those 30 years, the temperature has changed. It's gotten hotter every year. In the last 5 years, they hit new records of temperatures. So and yeah, you notice and you've seen it, and and I don't know where you are, but you can, if you've been living there for too long, you can see that there's some changes. And some people don't want to admit it, don't want to see it, uh, but it's mostly because they're not gonna profit from the changes. Um, Me tengo que ir. Ándale pues, Maximiliano, gracias por parar un ratito. Yo sé que ya es tarde allá por Chile. Que te vaya bien y ahí estamos en comunicación. Ahí la próxima, a ver si tenemos más tiempo de platicar. Échale ganas, allá es sábado por la noche, ¿verdad? Eh, hay que tengas un bonito domingo mañana. Cuídate, hasta luego. Uh, but yeah, Danny, don't say that. It's not about one place. I think the whole world is changing right now. So, and it's part. The world has always changed. We just don't notice it. But lately, we have been changing it more often than before. Danny says, I was working in raising sheep and rams on a farm in Algeria. Um, what do you do with the sheep over there, Danny? Uh, is it just for the skin, or do you guys? Because um, uh, we do like here and in Mexico we do eat the, the goats, but the sheep. Uh, I don't know if it's the same or they taste differently. Have you ever tried that? Oh, I know the milk, right? Also, because there's some uh, like in Mexico we do eat drink milk. Um, make ram oil in Nigeria, but I stopped working because it requires more effort. Oh yeah, man. I guess any part of the world where once you work in a farm, that is very hard work, and then you start really early, and sometimes you end very late your day, and that's what it is when it comes to farm work. It takes a lot of effort, and especially if you're alone or it's a big place, it's hard to maintain. Yeah, I, I wouldn't be able to make it in a farm ever because um, I, even since Mexico, I was kind of like a city boy. I grew up the city where I grew up. It was one of the seventh largest in Mexico back then. I don't know right now. So the main industry there was shoemaking. We would everything in the city work around, and it still does. It still, if you go to that city, you will find shoes everywhere, and everybody knows that city for that for the shoes. So the whole industry was based on shoemaking, and when we moved to the U.S., it was the same. Like I lived for some time in L.A. and then in Arizona, it was Phoenix. But I always been kind of in big cities. I wouldn't know how to live until now. Like but it's still, I'm here in the province here in Philippines, but still the city is so close, and um, the little things that I know how to do here is not like farm work. It's not compared to that. Can you put pepper? Yeah. Look at that. My wife did some mashed potatoes with gravy. She likes this.
Nasi Dudong.
We have our breakfast. Um, I used to my grandson in Algeria, but I stopped working because it's raising sheep. I was like the owners of the American countryside. Was it? I was wearing a black hat, like American. Uh, and he says that he used to work raising sheep and rams.
Who wants to
Yes, yes,
donate to buy a pig?
pig. We want a pig?
You wanna donate Danny a pig?
Oh, maybe he can donate you a goat or a sheep.
Oh, the goat is more cheaper than a pig.
Really?
There's goat that 2.5 and then the bigger one is 5K.
Um, well, I don't know. But the difference on the sheep, you can sell the what they call it, the skin. I don't know. They make clothes from it. Uh, is that ketabo? Crabble?
Crabble?
What does that mean?
Nothing.
We need to try the other different ways of mashed potatoes. And I like it like that, but the other one is a good thing. My mother used to call me African Shepherd. Well, I think the hat broke that. Maybe the African American Shepherd. Even with a hat, Danny, I don't think there's a hat big enough for my head. I wouldn't make it like a farmer, not even in the look. Uh, well, yeah, like I've had some friends that used to work in farms, and they always tell me, "Oh, stop work," you know, because right now in the U.S. there's plenty of jobs in farms, and they say I don't recommend it because first of all, when you do the harvest over there in the U.S., it depends on the area uh, because of the climate of the U.S. For example, during the summer, California, Arizona, New Mexico, all the southern states, all the way to Florida, they do have nice weather, and not and in the summer the upper states too. But in the winter, it's so horrible over there. You cannot grow anything on the northern states, and just the southern states. Like I said, from Florida, uh, Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and California. Um, Other than that, they don't grow much, and they use those times to grow things like vegetables, uh, some fruits, not all of them, and the rest of them they get imported from either Mexico or other countries. And picking those vegetables, especially the vegetables. Yeah, some of them have machines, but not a lot of them, and they need to be picked by hand. And one of the hardest work is bending over. Let me tell you, working on is a really tough job to do. Be picking stuff. You think it's easy just getting stuff, but when you're doing it the whole day, your back it hurts a lot, and those people they endure a lot of pain with doing that job. And it's the same everywhere, but like in Florida, is known for oranges. They got citrus trees there, and a little bit easier. They got ladders. I've seen some of those videos where they're picking those, and it's a little bit easier, but still the same thing. You gotta carry all those oranges on your back or these baskets. Same thing. It's kind of hard work. And in the summer, the heat it also is kind of uh, tiring. Um, Californians love raising pigs. Um, well, California is a big state, and not just in size, but also in economy. It's got very diverse economy. It's not just farm work is got big cities, big industries. You know, LA area is known for Hollywood, all the attractions. Uh, and then in the northern part of California, from San Francisco, they have Silicon Valley, and you know all these big companies are settled there, and yeah, it's like they say one of the richest states in the U.S. because of drive, and the nice weather helps a lot. Um, Luz says, "Hola Luz, ¿cómo estás? Claro que nos acordamos de ti. Um, ¿cómo estás allá en Colombia? ¿A qué hora son por allá? Ya son las, ¿qué hora son? Como por son
Wait,
las 8 de la noche, ¿verdad, no?
so you don't get bored eating your mashed potato and make you some longanisa.
Okay. Baby, uh, don't use oil. Use can you do it on
Grill.
the not the grill
Yeah, I
the
know.
yeah it died
Relax.
it died. I guess we need to charge it, brother.
Like,
Yeah, let me charge it. Danny says racing pigs is forbidden in Islam. Oh yeah, I know that's a big no for the Islam. And eating is much worse, right? You cannot eat any pork meat. Um, Luz dice, son las 8 de la noche. Sí, me imaginé ahorita, entró un amigo de allá de Chile, pues no están comparados ahí cercas, pero pues comparado a como estoy acá del otro lado del mundo, me imagino que sí están un poco más cercas y el horario va a ser por ahí parecido. Y ellos están a 12 horas de diferencia. Entonces, todo es un poquito, por eso sí, ya más o menos le estoy agarrando el horario de alrededor del mundo. Um, ¿Y cómo estás, Luz? ¿Cómo te ha ido? Um, sí, es chistoso que mientras acá es de mañana, allá ya están de noche. A veces me confundo totalmente y, y digo que están igual que uno, se confunde mucho la mente y a veces pienso que todavía es de mañana ya y le estoy diciendo buenos días a todos y cuando ya están ustedes de noche por allá. ¿Dónde está la princesa hermosa? Mi esposa ahorita está cocinando, amaneció con ganas de cocinar. Hizo café, ya me trajo café, ya estaba tomando café y luego se puso a hacer, mira, me hizo papa con gravy, no sé cómo se llama este en español, y ahorita anda haciendo unas salchichitas que las va a cocinar y ahorita las va a traer. Ahorita viene. I follow my wife. Danny, what's the religion of Singapore? Is it Islam too, or is it different? Um, I love this food. Yeah, Danny, it's mashed potatoes with gravy. It's so delicious when I prefer it when it's hot. I don't like it when it's cold. It hot tastes much better, and with the gravy too. Um, This is my wife from Singapore and lives with me in North Africa. Yeah, I know that you told us that. But what's the religion over there? Okay, dile que le mando un saludo. Sí, le dije hace rato cuando entraste y me dijo, ¿dónde está? Luego ya se salió, yo creo que te desapareció un rato. Pero sí, ahorita está cocinando, ahorita que viene, a ver si esperas aquí todavía, ahorita no tarda. Um, Giban, hello, I'm from Brazil. Hey, Giban, sorry, man, I cannot read your name so well. um, I'm from Mexico, man. Do you prefer English or Spanish? I know Brazilians, brasileños entienden muy bien el español. Y nosotros entendemos, los brasileños entienden mejor el español que nosotros entender mejor el portugués, es lo que noto. Pero quién sabe allá para el sur, porque pues ustedes ahí, Brasil, Colombia, Chile, todos están en Argentina, están bien cerca, y yo creo que tienen más contacto con el portugués de Brasil que nosotros acá para el norte, acá en México. Sí conocí gente que sí sabía portugués, pero a mí yo nomás escucho portugués, le entiendo como un 40-50% por ahí nada más. Y hay otras palabras que a tiro no sé qué significa. Um, sí, yo sé que hablas portugués, pero te digo, ¿cuál idioma se entiende mejor, el español o el inglés? Um, Venezuela, Cuba, Puerto Rico, and Mexico speak Spanish. Danny, in America, well, it's Latin America, most of the countries, like I'm gonna say 95% speak Spanish. From Mexico, Central America, and even South America. Most of the only there's only a few countries that they don't speak Spanish, and that's Brazil. Brazil, they speak Portuguese, and Belize. I think their main language is English, and some other in the Caribbean islands they also speak English. Oh, there's one that speak I forgot which language it is, but it's from Europe. I don't remember. But yeah, like the rest of us, it's Spanish. So even when in the U.S. They see because we also kind of look similar, and they're always confused. Like you see somebody from Central America, South America, well, people in the U.S. they sometimes they don't. It's like anywhere. You don't see people, and then when you see them, you assume things like, for example, there's another example in the U.S. Um, there's somebody from Asia, that's somebody if it's Korean, Japan, or something that goes there, and they immediately said, "Oh, he's from China," you know, and it's not true. Like you gotta know a little bit better, not just for physical attributes, but same thing with Latin Americans. Like there's uh, uh, from Salvador. They always call them Mexicans, and they're not. They're their own country. And some of the South Americans too. They're like Peru, Argentina. They all say, "Oh, they're in the U.S." and they say, "Are you Mexican?" No, we're not. We're not. We're Argentinians,
What's your
Chileans.
body?
So yeah.
Longanisa.
I say. Then he says, we in North Africa speak French. Oh man, is it? Oh yeah, because is it because French had colonies there, or and uh, they were under rule of France for so many years. It's kind of like here in Mexico. They had the Spanish came here many years ago. And that's how Mexico adopted the Spanish because
But
you
Philippines
know
only little.
it's funny. I know if there's any Mexicans online, they're gonna hate me for what I'm gonna say next. It's funny because Mexicans, um, when if you go to Mexico, and for example, me or anybody Mexican Americans, they force you to speak good Spanish, and they'll tell you, hey, you're in Mexico, you need to speak Spanish, and you need to be perfect Spanish. This is the language of Mexico. And you know that Spanish is not Mexican. You know, we had our dialects, we had our language, we just forgot it, we left them. And yeah, there's tribes that they still speak it, but as a majority in Mexico, it's Spanish. But the Spanish is not ours; it's from Spain. They pass it on to us, and that's how we know Spanish. Spanish is not Mexican. And that's funny. Like you think that nationalism, I guess, is everywhere. Then it says, no, we're countries in North Africa. There was an old French occupation that occupied in Nigeria, Morocco, and Tunisia. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Same like here, the Spanish came, they turned it into um, monarchy. They put their own kings here and there, and then eventually the people rebel against them and they kick him out. So back then, there was even in the Americas. For example, Canada has got a big influence by France. There's their I'm gonna say, well, I don't know much about Canada, but I know they speak English, but they also speak French, and there's a big size of the country that they do speak French, and the U.S. obviously by the English, and all the South America countries were influenced by Spain, and that's how we got to speak Spanish. um, Switzerland, Austria too. Yeah, back then all the European countries were in a race to see who can conquer the world. The more territories they can have, I don't know what, just money and power, like always. um, but yeah, that's how we got influenced by them. Uh, and they left us languages, and we forgot. The Filipinos, they did get to keep their dialects and their own languages, and Mexico we didn't. We adopted Spanish, sadly. And it would be nice. There's, I believe, like, I don't know much, but I think like two, three native languages in Mexico from back then. But there's only counted people, like very small uh, groups, tribes in Mexico that they still speak it. And but sadly, it's not. It should be like here. Here when Filipinos go to school, they teach English, Tagalog, and like their own native dialect. So they have like three languages basically. Um, and in Mexico, you know, it's all about Spanish. Even English, you get classes in English, but it's most like remember when you went to school, you had physical education. It was one of those courses that you can easily pass. English was the same for us back then. As long as you can translate 2 or 3 words, you were already passing. It wasn't back in my days. It wasn't so important. I guess now it probably changed because English has become, whether you want it or not, the main language to trade and also online. Like everything you'll see it online in English. So in as a form of communication, we need to have a common language, and I think English is gonna be the main one. It's been one of the main ones, but there's always others. Like if you count the number of countries that speak language, I think between English and Spanish is the two major languages in the world, with the most people speaking it. Uh, but still, English is, I would think, it's one of the bigger ones. Uh, then it says experts say that the most difficult language in the world is Chinese. Oh man, not just for me, not just Chinese, Japanese, Korean.
Mm-mm.
When it comes to those little symbols, I'm lost. Like other languages like here Tagalog, when you use the ABCs, at least you understand. But when you're talking about little drawings like that, oh man, it's not. And something I heard somewhere before that also one of the, I don't know if it was weirdest or difficult languages is German, because of the way you need to
The
speak it.
German is the one that it's so hard.
Yeah,
It's
well,
so
Danny
slow.
says Chinese. Well, at least German they still use ABCs. But Chinese, Japanese, Koreans, or any other language that use symbols, oh, I'm lost. Like for me, it's almost impossible. um, um, yeah, man. For me, most of those languages, especially now that I'm older, I'm having like look at
Tingnan naman yung
Filipino.
diagram.
Look at turn around. Come, yeah, come over here.
Oh,
Wait,
nasa
you're gonna look. You're gonna like this. Let me thank you for the breakfast.
yung breakfast you didn't eat.
I left this for you.
No, I'm so full na.
Really? I was waiting for
Yes.
you. Oh, you should have told me. Oh, I don't know what they say. Well, my wife, she kind of a little bit understands some Korean. I will get lost in Korea. When I was only passing through Japan, in any other place, for example, let's say Portugal, it's Portuguese. I have a better chance at getting understood and dealing with places. Or even Germany. You kind of get familiar with the names and some of the words, and then if you don't, you just write it, you look it up, and you got an idea. Like let's say you're gonna use the train. It's easy for me to do that, but in Japan, all the symbols are like this, and I wouldn't have an idea what they say. I wouldn't even know where to translate it or find it, and that's what happened to me there. I had to. Thankfully, I knew what I needed to do, and it was just a question of asking around where to find because I needed to transfer airport. So I asked a lady there for information, and in a little English, yeah, she told me, and it's a good thing that it was true, because sometimes it happens that you get lost in translation, and that's another thing that happened to me in China when I arrived there. Some of the inside the airport, some of the people there, and I think most airports, because they're international airports, especially those that they have a big traffic of tourists and people from other parts of the world, they're supposed to know at least some English. And, but in China, man, they totally got me lost. They told me go to this window. I was applying for a transit visa, and then they told me no, you go to the other one. And I went to the no, you gotta. I did this like 4 times, even nobody was able to tell me exactly where, until one guy that he had better English than the others kind of guide me what to do. Um, Now in China they have two languages, uh, simplified hand and traditional hand. Um, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. I'm not a like. If you ask me about China, I know very little about China, except for the time I traveled through there. So Jay. What's up, Jay? How are you today, man? Saturday evening. What are you doing? Um, yeah, you're great. No, man, it's always great. It's just different. It says the problem is they are similar in China and Japan. I don't know. Well, the you know they have their languages, but the problem is that when they have symbols for languages, it's different. It's difficult to decipher what it means, and you need to learn uh, a new ABCs. It's not like ours. The rest of the world, most of us use those. Yeah, I think it's much easier when you use those. Uh, for me, it would be much easier to understand French or Portuguese or learn it because of the similarities with Spanish. But when it comes to Japanese or Chinese, Korean, that's another problem that you need to learn all those symbols. And sometimes they change it, and sometimes I, I I know very little, and good thing I'm not living there, or else I would be lost every single day. Um, there's Japanese people look alike together. No man, don't say that, because it's it's kind of like the same when they put white people. If you put me up a person, and my wife has seen me, like when we go to renew my visa, there's a bunch of foreigners there at the immigration, and you see a white person, you can judge him and say, oh, this guy is from US or from Australia. And when it happened to me, like that day that I was doing my visa, there was this guy next to us, and I was thinking, oh, this guy is probably from the US. He looks American. It turns out he was from uh, here. He was a Kiwi, and a really nice person. And we started talking, and he's he was very kind to lend me his pen and continue chatting with me while I was filling up my paperwork. And yeah, you can always say that yeah, they all look the same, but we don't. Like we have, unless you know how to look for certain differences, then you will know. But uh, yeah, same thing with, like I said, Mexicans and South Americans. When you go to the U.S., they will say, "Oh, you're Mexican," and some of them get offended because I'm not Mexican. I'm from Peru, or I'm from Salvador, Nicaragua, and just because they speak Spanish, they think they're from Mexico, and but they're not. And it's those things that it's unless you get to know the person and ask him for real that you will find out. Uh, what I say is hi. See from here, Mexican Indians. Well, there's you know, this is the thing about the U.S. right now. Uh, yeah, there's natives in the U.S., which are the first and the only real Americans that they had been there in America in that location for centuries. And those are the true Americans. And if you read the history of the U.S., how they took over the whole land and not just take their land, but also some of those areas were Mexican territories, and in the exchange of possession of those lands, Mexicans got stuck on the side of America, of the U.S. And those people right now in the present, they have the status of natives, and some of them are Mexican Americans. In some, there's a lot of Mexican tribes with the status of citizenship as an American, but at the same time, because there's tribes that they're in Mexico. This is the same tribe in Mexico and in the side of the U.S. and they can go back and forth like any other, but at the same time they have their own freedom of. I'm not gonna say governance, but it's some kind of uh, thing like that. They have their own form of government, and it's still even within the U.S. But it's something unique, and it happened over time, and still they don't have some rights. Um, and but they're comfortable living like that now. I guess I'm not gonna say they are because I cannot speak for them. Um, uh, but yeah, that's the way things are over there. Um, America's indigenous people are Indians. Uh, well, that's what they call them. You know, Indian Americans. Um, and they're still trying to figure out how, because you know the scientists are still they still don't know. You know, they say that um, humans started in Africa and then we spread it around the world, and they think they found evidence that the first Indian Americans came during the last ice age, and they settled not just in America but all the way to South America, and those are the original first Americans. Um, yeah, they call them. They were called Indian Americans. At first, they were called Indians because you know when they were searching for when they discovered the Europeans discovered America, they were trying to find India to make a easier route in the ocean. That's why when they arrived, they said, "Oh, these are the Indians." No, those are Americans, the first Americans, but they didn't know it, and I guess the name got stuck. Indians, um, Red Indians in ancient times before the formation of the United States of America. Yeah, man, those are like I said, those are the true first Americans. Um, all the others, white Europeans, even us Mexicans in the territories there, we expanded after Spain took over. Uh, but our race were the Aztecs and other big empires in South America. Um, but we are mixed culture. We're not, you know, like that. We did have some, what do you call it, mixture of cultures. Um, Native American Indian traditions, tribe name, like this. Do you understand? Yeah, I mean, they still keep a lot of the traditions. It's like I told you, even in Mexico, they're called tribes, and they have their own rules, and they live in certain areas.
I think every country, yeah, in Philippines also,
You guys have that? Like
tribes.
tribes?
Oh, really not?
Why?
We
I've not seen them.
Tabe.
I have not seen
We
them.
even speak, we don't understand.
Well, over there in Mexico, well, mostly in the U.S., they call reservations. They put them in a reservation. It's a certain area that which the country, the government uh, let them leave and do whatever they want. And obviously, the, the U.S. in the U.S. I'm gonna say Mexico too, because you know they see them um, as something from the past, and they want to hide it. And that's what they did. What they did with Indian Americans, they put them in these reservations. Yeah, it's a big uh, piece of land, but some of those lands, there's nothing to do in those piece of lands. I know it because I've seen it. I passed through some of those reservations, and sometimes in nowadays, even like there was a big fight a few years ago with a reservation up in Montana. They wanted to pass pipeline through there because it was more convenient. And but that land, it was part of their heritage, and they still wanted to take it away. So see, even in the present, they still doing that to them. And it's it's the same to anybody. Like, the government will take whatever they want at any point they need it. Um, so, anyways, Danny, I said I wouldn't talk about. I don't like talking about politics, and now you made me talk about politics.
We are not eating in the music.
Right. Uh, where's my phone? I'm adapting into electronic cigarette. Oh no, Danny! Don't ever do that one, man. I swear to you, don't do those vapes. Let me tell you why. And this is I already know two people. One of them was my brother-in-law. He got hooked onto that uh, when they became popular a few years ago. And he never told me, but then he all of a sudden he stopped. And my sister told me, oh, it doesn't feel right. That was the first time. Then this happened last year before I came here. There was this co-worker, uh, and it was his cousin. They both were working together, and that he was a young man, and he was hooked onto electronic cigarettes too. And um, he was doing it every day, at every moment. Well, it turns out that he went to the hospital 2 or 3 times already after that, and it happened so fast, like in a year. He already uh, was having problems breathing, and then he was having anxiety attacks, uh, all kinds of problems. They give him medicine, they give him to, they actually told him in the hospital stop doing that, but he was so addicted to it that he couldn't stop. His cousin told me, oh, he cannot stop because not only are they more potent, more powerful, that they're also more addictive. So yeah, I mean, don't I wouldn't recommend those things. Some people are saying that it's good for getting rid of the real cigarette. No, you're gonna get addicted to it too, and then because of the way it affects your body harder, so it's much faster. Don't do those, man. I truly don't recommend those. Um, it's good, my friend. I'm jealous of you. Um, you don't adapt, and I adapt. So we're every day. Yeah, man, uh, don't try those because I'm telling you, I think it's better if you stick to the old ones. You know, But even the old ones, you already know what happens to people who smoke. Um, but yeah, those electronic cigarettes are not good. Yeah, they're truly bad for your health. Um, Eventually, you're gonna have health issues. And the guy, let me tell you, the guy was young. He was only like in his 20s. I'm like, and he before that he looked healthy, and that thing got him so bad. Like I saw his condition, and his cousin was telling me, oh, because of this, because of that. I don't think it's worth it. All right, Danny. If you gotta go, it's okay, man. Thank you. We'll do live tonight if you wanna come over. We're gonna also. It's almost 1 hour, 20 minutes. We're also gonna quit this live, and hopefully, can see you tonight, man. Uh, we'll see how the day goes and what we post today. Um, but thanks, man, for joining us, and take care. I'll see you later. All right. All right. Bye.